This is Annemie Ress, expert in innovation, leadership and HR, and founder of Purple Beach. She sat down with some of the members of Startupscale to talk about the most pressing challenges for small businesses. These are our top 3 takeaways.
Certainly what I've seen, and when James and I connected on this topic, I think clearly many of those portfolio companies that we've started or invested in are facing some challenges at this point in time. And actually the ones, whilst there seems at a global level, whether it's European or at a country-specific level, there seems to be a lot of support for startups and entrepreneurs to continue growing and thriving. Certainly the ones that we've seen have been able, and we believe will be able to weather the storm, are the ones that are seeing what is happening at this point in time as an opportunity to create new value, to actually really rethinking their business models, their positioning, and their role. And some of them are focused on how to help other organizations navigate through the current reality, but I think the ones that will really leapfrog, be super successful, will be the ones that are today already focused on what will come afterwards, right? And clearly in that context, digital in its broadest sense will be key and crucial and, cornerstone of it all. But I also think that it's not only digital as an enabler, but actually digital as a driver of new business models, right? So the mindset that we're certainly encouraging traditional organizations who are now grappling with digital for the first time to have is one, not of saying, oh my goodness, we have to do our digital transformation now, but really rather of saying, you just have to do digital. What we need to think about is beyond digital. What are the partnerships that you're going to enter into? What are the collaborations that you're going to look for that will help you leapfrog through today and actually see what comes afterwards as opportunity filled with abundance? I think that in this digital era, what we need to work much harder on when you only have that digital platform created is still establishing a very authentic human connection, right? Through your platform, through your design, and through your business model. So it doesn't mean, so it's just my personal opinion, that if you have a digital platform, that's enough. I think by far, the platforms and businesses that will differentiate will be the ones that can capture that unique human connection, the authenticity.
Really difficult trying to get people to speak to you. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's because they're all in the same position themselves and they've all got their own things that they're dealing with. Yeah. I don't know, we had a little chat about this earlier on, just trying to get that message out there so it resonates and people want to talk to you is probably the hardest thing, I think, right now.
Maybe the opportunity in the conversation to have is not around you selling something to them. Sure. And maybe it's around going back again to this human connection piece, right? Just how can I help? I mean, and obviously we don't all want telephone calls the whole day with people phoning us to say how they can help us. Like, how are you doing? I think that will be also a little bit too much. But I think it requires a very different way of listening. It requires a different way of selling, probably not selling for a while. And it requires you to hear what they're not saying. Go beyond the, I'm so worried about today and I can't spend money. I think most people are already thinking about, what about tomorrow? What about next? What can I do if we get through this? What are some of the new partnership opportunities I can have? Certainly as far as the startups are concerned, I think a lot of them, what I'm not hearing them say is, how can I reinvent my business model? Actually, how can I refocus? How can I completely do something that might not feel like it was what I started out doing? But a lot of them are thinking about that. They just don't know how to take the first step and have the conversation, again, because many of them are so focused on survival, right, at this point in time.
What is the biggest challenge that you personally face right now? And what is the challenge that the CEOs of the various different kind of organizations that you support, what would you say is their biggest challenge right now, if you had to kind of, summarize it?
Sure. So I think the personal challenge actually goes back to, you know, Fabio, when you asked your question. I think it's about personal resilience. And I think I'm very good at telling other people the stuff I'm telling you, but not so good at living it. And so it's that whole notion of you really have to invest in yourself, because you all know that your only product really is you. I mean, it's you. When I make an investment, I look at the founders, and those are the ones that I invest in, right? And so the best investment that you can make for both yourself, for your team and your business. And so for me, the personal challenge is really that remaining resilient, remaining energized. You know, none of us are superhuman. It gets that this is a super challenging time. So, you know, doing all the things I tell other people to do, doing them for a change, that would be my personal challenge. I'm getting there, but not that well. And then I think what I'm seeing with CEOs is I think the ones that I think are really going to make it through this change and transition are the ones that are taking account of what's happening today, but seeing the opportunity in tomorrow, right? And what the new normal offers us, because it offers us huge opportunity. I think, again, if we look, you know, at a more philosophical and from an environmental perspective, it's going to be a very different world. Hopefully we can sustain some of that. But the CEOs I'm really seeing struggle are the ones that are so focused on what they need to do today that they're not seeing the massive opportunities that are out there for tomorrow. And both, how I would say that, again, goes back to what I was saying to you guys earlier, opportunities in terms of new partnerships, new ways of working, new ways of creating value, new ways of engaging with and sharing ideas, being more open to creating value. And I think that for me, the ones I see struggle are the ones that are only thinking about today. And it's so hard to think both about value today and value tomorrow. But I always say that the winners in this race will be the ones who can think of value today, obviously, value tomorrow, and then how they align their people and the value they want to create today and tomorrow consistently, right? So those are my thoughts.